So I've read a quote from you stating, and I'm paraphrasing, that music is a universal language. It cuts through political unrest, cuts through language, cuts through the dramas of the day, and connects. Music means more to you than just a good beat. So how do you use music to connect with people?
In like a billion ways. We all do this. We all do this. With traveling through China, this is where I really understood that music was more than just entertainment. It was connection. It was building bridges. It was breaking down barriers. I because I had an opera background, I was really good with languages. So I learned Mandarin songs, and I would be singing them for fun when we were going through the orphanages. And it was a really different experience when I sang a song that was so close to them. It's not going to be meaningful for me to sing one of my, pop songs in a different language and, in a different style of music. But singing a song that they grew up with, that they really enjoyed and loved, it connects. It shows that you care. It's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I traveled, the more that just kept coming up, and especially with the TV show, was talking about music from so many different cultures in China. It's such a massive country, and exploring the indigenous music and exploring the rhythms, and the history is unreal. And so those are the ways that it was like, well, I really understand that music is fun and entertaining. I was a beauty pageant queen, right? Like, it's just entertaining. But as you get more into it, you see that the connections are made, and you bring you bring happiness, you bring joy, you make connections with people, and you help, one faction understand about another faction, and you yourself get rid of that, or try to get rid of that, like, American sensibility that nothing is past your borders.
Was it difficult to learn Mandarin, or particularly like the pronunciation on certain lyrics, I guess?
我是不好不好
Fluent, brilliant.
It's like singing, because there's the tones and the singing tones. Actually, it's a little bit easier for me because I'm used to learning the tones and writing, when things are supposed to go up and when they're, so. And it's also easier. They say that if you want to learn something, learn it to music, like the ABCs. When you're teaching your little toddler the ABCs, you teach them to music, because how would you remember that sequence of 26 letters? Like, it's easier to sing a Mandarin song than it is to, like, learn it.
That's a good point, actually. I was picking up a Filipino song, and there are words that I can, in front of me, I can sing because I know how it's pronounced, because I've heard the original artist sing the song. But just to speak the word, I don't know if my intonation's incorrect, or the way I might hold on to a particular letter. I don't know if that's right, because obviously in songs you can elongate particular words. I'm just so like, right. I can sing it to you, but I can't say it.
That's so interesting. Yes. And that came up when I was doing, when I do Urdu songs and Pakistani songs, I do have... you listen carefully for you have a native speaker help you to be able to, like, in the recording studio. I have always someone because if you go hello and you're like, why are you saying it like that?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same way.
Yeah, that must be strange.
Yeah, it happens. It does happen.
You mentioned Pakistan then. So as I understand it, you are married to a Pakistan. Is he Pakistani national, or is he?
Yeah. He's a native of Pakistan. Yes, Rafi and I were both learning how to meditate at BU. So we thought we were gonna, like, be spiritual and relax and whatever, and so yes, we met at BU. He was finishing his medical school, and I was in opera school, and he was this cute little fun guy who loved to travel, and he, like, talked a mile a minute like I did, and we had so many similarities. It was like instant soulmate. Rafi and I.
So you connected not just in sort of meditation, but spiritually kind of as well.
Yeah, because we're both young and like seeking out these new spiritual paths, and also, he's a really big travel lover, like I am, and exploring different cultures. And he loves languages. He speaks 5 languages,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, he's a very interesting guy. He went to medical school in Russia and learned all medicine in Russia, and then came to the
What?
US. And I
That's
know.
got to be so hard.
It was really hard. Yeah, he had to relearn everything into English and pass the medical exams in the US, which he did. Which he did
Wow.
do.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it was no joke.
That's amazing. I'm still trying to get my head around just, well, English for one, but a lot of other languages. Just I can pick up a few bits here. It's always, maybe, I don't know whether you find the same thing as well. Well, obviously you don't, because you have multiple languages as well. But like for British people, because a lot of the European continent do speak English, although they have their own languages, we find it easy just to accept that they'll speak English back. And you try, and if they can't, you just sort of try and figure out a way of communicating that gap, really. But British people were quite lazy when it comes to languages.
Oh my, what are you talking? You're talking to an American. Nobody in the world thinks Americans are great linguists and ready to like learn everyone's languages. Like, yeah, it's really, that's another thing with cultures. If you spend that extra time really getting down, like 10 really good phrases, like ordering food, saying hello, like the basic ones. It goes a long way. And then, of course, pull out Google Translate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really great.
It's great for many languages, but Filipino isn't one of them. Google
No?
tends to no, it trips over itself quite a lot. Sometimes it doesn't even translate anything because it's just like I don't understand any of these words. Well, thanks, Google.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the
However,
help.
I do have an app called Drops, which I can't recommend enough. It's very visual. It's it'll teach you a word and what it means, and then it will throw different scenarios at you saying, so which one is this word, and you kind of link it to that picture, or you have to spell it, and some of it's kind of audible as well. So you get quite a mix for a variety of learning practices,
Styles.
really.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And I've actually picked up quite a lot of Tagalog actually because of it.
Oh, wow.
And then somebody says to me, oh yeah, but if you go to Cebu, they speak in a different dialect there, and you go, okay, well, I'll just stay in Manila then.
Okay.
One language is enough, I think.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm still very much a beginner, but yeah, a little goes a long way, right?
You got to practice with somebody. You got to practice with Ria. You got to use your words. That's the hard part I always find, is to get past that word of, okay, I can say 5 phrases, but I'm so afraid to say them to anybody. Like,
Yeah.
And then they go, what? Like you got to get past that. That's like the second phase, I feel like.
I think if you can hold up a very basic conversation, that's a very good start.
Yeah.
The most basic thing I can say that has any more meaning than just a simple hello or thank you is nagsasalita ka ba ng Ingles, which is, do you speak English? Because if they say yes, the rest of it's easy for me.
You're like done. And you're likely, there's a high percentage that the answer is yes.
Well, yeah. And then I get lazy again. I don't need to learn the rest then, do I?
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta just keep on trying. That's what when I go to China and speaking Mandarin, they don't always understand you because of the different tones. And I just have to go, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to, like psyching yourself back up and keep on
Is it true
trying.
that you can say the same word in a different sort of intonation and it can mean something completely different?
It does.
Oh,
so
that's
like
confusing.
ma is like horse, and ma is like, this isn't right, but like the, and ma. So there's 4 tones. There's like the straight tone.
No way.
There's the bendy tone. There's the rising tone, and then there's the falling tone.
That's just to confuse you more, isn't it? Gee, that's quite a lot.
It's singing. You have to just sing it.
That's true. And I suppose if you've got a great vocal range. What is your range, by the way? I never asked.
Well, I'm a lyric soprano, so I sing all the way up to like a high G above high C to, I have a 3.5 octave range. It's a lot for a soprano, but yeah, I worked on it.
Yeah, I bet. Does it take a lot of I'm it's weird.
Yeah.
Most of my channel on YouTube is sort of musical based, but I'm not a musician, so I have a lot of respect for artists doing their, performing and stuff. But I love to know the technicalities and just seeing how you train up to become that great, really.
Well, you with opera, you do these vocal exercises. You do these vocal exercises every day, no matter what, because if you don't do them for 2 weeks, then you lose the top part of your range. You can't sing as high. And everyone says that it's a bit athletic because it's like training your vocal cords. So like, you're going to the gym and you're making them strong. And if you have not gone to the gym for, a month, or then you got to just retrain, it's breath support. You have sing long notes for a long time. You really have to be able to support your breath for singing that long. And then there's tone. You want it to sound good. The tone of your voice, if it's so, want it to sound like that. You want the tone to be pretty. So you practice that part. And then if you want to sing high, you practice all these little staccatos. You practice all the little staccatos to try to get higher and higher. And then eventually you do.
Wow. How often do you train? Is it every day?
It is. Yes. I have a wonderful coach. And I do train with her every week, and I make sure I practice. You can't see my piano is right here behind me.
How long do you train for? Is it like a 30-minute session, or do you?
It's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I just go in front of the piano and I do all my exercises. And if I'm working on an aria, and I've been working on my new arias, my Mozart arias, so I keep working on different sections, and then I sing through the song, and then I, think about which part didn't go well. Maybe my breath support wasn't as good, so I wanted to make sure, you work on different pieces of it, and then I sing through the not all of them, just like one. Yeah, okay. And every day when you do that, it's like, when you go to the gym, eventually, I don't know, statistically I've heard this. I don't personally know.
So they say. I've never been. I don't really go to the gym that often. It's very rare. Yeah. I used to have a personal trainer who used to come to my house, who's how lazy I am. So.
Oh, no, my trainer, which I used to use, is now on Zoom. So we Zoom train now.
Oh, wow.
That's how life is. This is where we've ended up. Like everything is Zoom.
Yeah, you can argue and say that's quite normal now, but before lockdown, that was like my life of like almost a year. I used to have 2 or 3 sessions a week, and the trainer would come around and bring some gear, and we just kind of.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It saves me time because I had a daughter as well last year, so it meant I had a bit of extra time with her, before and after the session, no driving and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been quite good. But I'm starting to get back into fitness again, actually, because I've started to see the pounds starting to creep up a little bit. I'm like, all right, Dan, cut the crap now. time to do something about it now.
Me and my sister are doing Peloton now. And I'm like, I don't want to join the cult of Peloton, but you know what? It's really awesome. So
it looks intense. I saw the ads on telly and I was like, oh yeah, you got to be the right kind of person to do that.
No, it isn't. No, I'm not that right kind of person at all. And it's fine. Started it with my sister because we were both like, oh my God, we got to do something. And it's just an app. So they have little 20-minute things you can run on your treadmill and whatever. Yeah. It's for everybody.
Interesting. I might think about it. I don't have a bike, so it might take me a while to get back on the saddle. Pun intended,
Yeah.